Okay, I'm hearing some kind of negative comments about, okay, how do you get those that are in charge to let go of their power? It's like, don't let them let go of their power. Let them hang on to something that's going to choke them. Um, if people like working this hard at something, let them. But you gotta be smarter and more wiser than they are. So that means that those at the bottom, the ones that are saying it's hopeless and helpless, it just means you haven't got something worthy of selling what they want. What is it they want? They love great ideas that they can profit from. So, how can they, what good idea can they profit off of greedy while you benefit from it? That's all that's missing is you got to have something worth selling. They want to buy. They got the money to buy. So what are you selling them? When you find your worth and you find out how to be the salesperson of your worth, they'll buy it. But right now, what you're doing is not worthy of buying, so you're buying their shit. Sell them on a better idea. Make them do all of the work. They're workaholics. Just let them think it's their idea. Don't be the hero. Let them be the hero. But just influence a better idea, a better direction, a better way of doing things. And if you don't know what that is, then that's on you. I'm working on a plan. I'm working on something that is going to be worthy of selling. Just not a good salesperson at it yet. It's communication skills. As soon as you know how to develop yourself, sell it. That's what I'm doing. And all of us have some kind of potential to offer the world. You just got to figure out what it is and sell it like they do. They're selling you a good idea, you're buying it. So you got to sell a better idea and make them buy it from you. They got the money. You want it in your hands. The transfer is value, value self, and sell your value. It is that simple. But just because you don't have an idea doesn't mean a good idea isn't going to pop into your head. So the first idea is, or the first thing is, believe that you are the master of a wonderful idea. What does it look like? Well, you're a person that's standing like a person that has an amazing idea. You're a person that's talking like you got an amazing idea. You're living in what looks like a great idea. And then while you're living in it, something's going to show up to confirm what it is you're trying to prove. You're going to say, hey, there it is. See, there it is. It's working. So just because it doesn't show up doesn't mean it's not going to show up. It means you haven't created what it feels like yet. But as soon as you feel confident about what it is you're creating, then all of a sudden the creation period. And you can see this with athletes training when they want to be successful at an end goal. Okay, they don't know how to make that tumble, a million times and land on their feet perfectly. No, and they think that if you do it over and over and over again, you can tumble a million times and land on your feet perfectly. And that's been proven over time that if you repeat something over and over again, it works. You get better at something, especially if that's the only thing you're working on is repeating that one thing over and over and over again. So if you're going to repeat doom and doom over and over again, trust you're going to create it and you won't even see that coming. But you can do the same thing with visualizing a good idea, but you got to come up with what is a good idea, and it will be being the solution to whatever the challenge you're dealing with. And if it's good for you, it should be good for everybody. So while you're analyzing your good idea, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see if your good idea would work just as well for them as it would for you. Otherwise, you haven't come up with a good idea, which is why you don't have the confidence yet, because you haven't formulated that great idea yet. um, but when athletes start visualizing, repeating the visualization of it instead of actually doing it over and over again and wearing out your muscles and wearing out your joints and wearing everything out about you that makes you perfect because you're repeating the same action over and over again, getting better at it, but you're killing yourself in the process of getting better at it. Where visualization actually makes it faster. If you visualize the goal, visualize what your body looks like, visualize what it should feel like. If you're right in that moment and you replay that over and over and over and over again, you turn into it. And it's like all you have to do is walk, and you're going to get good at it. The more you visualize the outcome of yourself, and then walk in that path, you're going to be walking on the path that you just created. It is that friggin' simple. So it's like, be really, really aware of what you're visualizing, because if you're focusing on the doom and gloom, your good ideas about confirming doom and gloom will show up. It's inevitable. But how do you shift a planet from recognizing, yeah, everything's wrong. What's wrong? Your thoughts are wrong. Change your thoughts. Like, it starts with thought. So you got to change what it is you think about. What you think about is guided by what you believe in, and everything that's around your universe is going to influence you to constantly perpetuate the same old belief. Change your belief to all things must die to all things must live. Just change that one perspective of, okay, what if in a magical world things are not supposed to die? What would it look like? How would that involve any of my ideas of a solution? Would anybody get sick? Would anybody die? Would anybody age? What is that perfect vision? Visualize it. What does it look like? When you get clear and you get your answers inside, outside, upside down, there's no way anybody can dispute you, because you know your subject matter inside and out. You're so in tune with that vision you see that you can't help but create it. And people are, that don't know, aren't in charge of what it is they're creating, then you are in charge of what it is that they're creating. So if you don't want to be a sheep, then be the leader. Come up with a good idea. If you want to be a sheep, then trust somebody's going to come up with a good idea and manipulate you down their path. So it's those that have the good idea take on the responsibility. Better be a good one, otherwise you're responsible for killing a lot of people. That's my rule, is if anybody dies from my good idea, I'm the one that's ultimately responsible for it. So I'm open to being wrong and being challenged. It's like, somebody come to the table and prove me wrong. Stay for the conversation to see if it's a good idea or not. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just keep visualizing and visualizing it until somebody can be smarter and wiser than me. And I know one day it's gonna be created, which means, okay, I'm working on world peace. So like it or not, you can believe it or not, but I've made shit happen before by visualizing it. And ultimately, prove me wrong, where world peace starts with myself. I ain't fighting with nobody. I ain't proving this to nobody. That is the war of non-peaceful world. So I am not proving this shit to nobody. I will have a peaceful conversation. I will share information back and forth, but I ain't fighting with nobody. And I'm not proving this to nobody. I'll be the example of it. I'll be the piece of it and love my life doing it. Peace out.